Howdy YouTube. I've been dumpster diving for a while now, and I've noticed the same questions come up over and over again from new dumpster divers or soon-to-be dumpster divers. So I made this quick video to address the top 3 questions that I see time and time again. 1. Is it legal? 2. When is the best time to go dumpster diving? And 3. What do I bring with me? If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. This helps us tremendously. And make sure to subscribe to the channel for more of that sweet dumpster diving action. And thank you. Now, let's get to those questions and hopefully some answers. Number 1. Is it legal in my town? Let's break this down. Looking at this question nationally, here in the USA, we can see that the Supreme Court ruled in 1988 in the case of California versus Greenwood that one has no expectations of privacy in regards to their disposed of waste. This opened up street-side bins, commercial and construction dumpsters, etc. to the public. And of course, to the police, which is what this ruling was centered around. So next up is state law. Luckily for us, my fellow scavengers, thus far there are no states that criminalize dumpster diving. The most likely place your dreams will be crushed is at the local level. So Google, is dumpster diving legal in my city? And put your city name in there. You'll most likely find your answer there. If not, you'll have to do some digging through your city ordinances, which you can usually find online, or try giving the city attorney's office or the courthouse a call. They should be able to help answer your questions. To stay out of trouble, never try and open a locked dumpster, though this one does seem obvious, and always make sure to honor no trespassing signs. Trespassing is probably the most common charge dumpster divers are faced with. Trash is for the most part and in most places in the public domain. To keep it that way and to avoid the businesses whose dumpsters you frequent from putting up no trespassing signs or locking you out, 2 things you can do is clean up after yourself and even others since you're already there anyway, and be polite. This is only my opinion, but if someone says something to you, don't argue. Don't insist on it being your right to be there, unless you'd rather do that than have access to the cans in the future. They can always have you trespass from the property so you can't legally come back, or they may put up no trespassing signs or locks. Also remember, there are others out there that may need access to these dumpsters more than you or I. Let's do our part to keep these dumpsters open. Number 2. When is the best time to dumpster dive? All the time. I've been out at all hours, and it is very rare I interact with another person, no matter the time of day. Dumpsters, generally speaking, just aren't all that busy of a place. And usually when I do run into people, it's only at apartment complexes when residents are tossing out their trash. They usually ignore me, even when I say howdy. And so far, no one has said anything negative to me or asked me to leave. It will happen, but so far, the fates are with me. As far as what time is best, this also depends on what kind of dumpsters I'm looking to hit, and most importantly, your own preference. I prefer to go in the late evenings to the industrial areas, when there are less workers and all the trash has been taken out for the day. I'm looking for metal, so it makes sense for me to look when I have the highest chances of finding the most metal at the end of the day, when all the trash is out. I prefer retail at the same time because I want to avoid contact with managers and employees. I just personally prefer to avoid people. More of a personality trait than a dumpster diving strategy. But I do stop and check during the day too. But when I'm filming, which I usually am, I want to be able to get into it and not be looking over my shoulder the whole time. So it's mostly about your comfort level. But there's treasure in them dumpsters, and you never know when someone's going to put it in there. So check them as often as you can. Whatever works with your schedule will be fine. You'll learn what days the dumpsters get emptied, and that's the most important part. The worst thing is coming up to an empty dumpster. Number 3. What should I bring dumpster diving? What tools? Let's split this into 2 categories. One will be must-haves, and the second category is optional awesomeness. So, a couple of must-haves, I'd say, are gloves. I prefer leather, but I'm also going after metals, so I've especially got to protect my hands from getting cut or poked. In the late fall and winter, weatherproof gloves are a must. You'll also need a flashlight if you're going to be out in the late evenings or nighttime. Many folks prefer some sort of tool that extends their reach. I use a long extending pole with a strong magnet at the end. But I'm super jealous of the folks using hooks. A channel I really enjoy, You Counts See Me, has one, and lots of folks use them, and I'd love to get my hands on one. Folks hunting the retail bins for goods often use those long grabbers with pinchers on one end and a trigger to close the pinchers on the other end. These are useful for folks hunting the retail bins, as they're mostly trying to reach in and snag those bags of goodies, kind of reach in there with their grabber, grab a bag and pull it towards them, because they're going to grab that whole bag, toss it in their car, their trunk, and they're going to go open them up at home and see what kind of goodies they got. But those wouldn't help me pick up super heavy chunks of metal, right? So the tools you need or want depend on the job that you are out there to do. Lastly, a plastic tub is a must-have if you don't have a truck bed or trailer. You do not want dumpster juice in the back of your ride. If you're seeking scrap, you need some sort of snipper to cut cords and wire. So for the second category, optional awesomeness. Some items that you might find useful but might not need, or you may find you do for your circumstances, are a step stool, especially if you aren't that tall, a tarp, a rope to tie stuff down or into your vehicle, a magnet to check metal. The list really could go on forever. I love all the creative things I see folks using out there. Let us know in the comments what tools you bring to get that dumpster treasure. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found at least a couple of useful tips here. Please hit that subscribe and thumbs up button and share this with your social media. This all helps us tremendously, and we really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.